Okay, so shalom. All right. Now I know it's a little late, right? But I had a long day, right? I'm pretty tired, but I wanted to keep my schedule, right? I give a promise on Wednesday and Sunday, and that's what I want to keep. It might be quite Thursday now, but nonetheless, I'm bringing it to you. So now, the title of this message is called The Commandments. The title of this message is The Commandments. Okay? Now, I want everybody to know something, right? You know what? First, let me go to Ecclesiastes. This is a very popular scripture. All of you probably know this scripture. Ecclesiastes 12:13. And it reads that, well, you know what? I'm reading out of the ESV, so it's going to be a little different. The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Okay? Now, I want to go into, I'm moving along because I just want to move along because I got a lot here. So I just want to keep it moving. All right? Let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Deuteronomy, this is a good lesson, okay? I assure y'all. Deuteronomy 28. And we're going to read, I'm going to read from from verse 1, and I'm going to read down to verse 14. Verse 1 to verse 14. Okay? Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 to verse 14. All right? Now, I want you all to pay very close attention. Okay? Pay close attention. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahuwah Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Who is he talking to right here? Okay, so I believe this is Moses. Okay, and what he's doing is he's telling black people, right, that if you follow the commandments, he's in front of a crowd of black people here. Okay? Moses, right? And he's telling so many odd amount of black folks, Negroes, whether they be Jamaicans all the way down to Argentina, Chile. Okay? He's telling these black people that if you follow the commandments, this is going to happen. Now, I want you to pay attention. Okay? This is going to happen if we follow the commandments. I want everybody to listen carefully. Right? And it shall come to pass, but I got the yawns. I'm tired. I'm very tired. I hardly had any rest today. hardly had any rest. I hardly had any rest in the past 24 hours. I've been on the move. All right. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, Yahuwah thy Elohim will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. He'll set who on high above all nations of the earth? Black people. So it's right here in the scriptures. It's saying that if we would have, now, I'm not a hypocrite because it was never orchestrated for us to have followed the commandments and to where it, because if we wouldn't be here 5,000 years later if the kingdom was at hand back then. See, the kingdom wasn't at hand. The kingdom is only at hand in these last days. See, now the race that us black folks are racing is for the kingdom. At this point in time, it was for, now I need everybody to listen to me, please, because I'm about to hit some real PowerPoints here. Okay? Matter of fact, listen. He says, if we were to follow the commandments, he'd have put us above all the nations on the earth. Now, listen. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken to the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim. Blessed shalt thou be in the city, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of the body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kine, and the flocks of thy sheep. Blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Yahuwah shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and flee before thee 7 ways. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thine hand unto. And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee. Yahuwah shall establish thee an holy people unto himself. So he's obviously talking to the Israelites here, right? Listen. As he hath sworn unto thee, if thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, and walk in his ways, and all people of the earth shall see that thou art called by his name, shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahuwah, and they shall be afraid of thee. And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods, and Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods, and Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods, in the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle, and in the fruit of thy ground, in the land which Yahuwah sware unto thy fathers to give thee, into the land which Yahuwah sware unto the fathers to give thee, unto the land which Yahuwah sware unto the fathers to give thee. Yahuwah shall open unto thee his good treasure, the heaven, to give the rain, thy land in his season, and thy land in his season, and to bless all the work of thine hand, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt lend unto many nations, and thou shalt not borrow. And Yahuwah shall make thee the head, and not the tail, and thou shalt be above only, and thou shalt not be beneath. If that thou hearken unto the commandments of Yahuwah, the commandments of Yahuwah thy Elohim, which I command thee this day, to observe and to do them, and thou shalt not go aside from any of the words which I command thee this day, to the right hand or to the left, to go after other gods and serve them. Now, I have to read it again. I know, because a lot of people get frustrated when I reread things again. But I happen to know when I have to reread something and when I don't have to reread something. Okay? Now, I know that you all heard that. I know you heard it. But you didn't hearken. And I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? I'm going to prove that to you. All right? Now, this is Deuteronomy, but this time I'm going to read it, but I'm going to give you a narration. And I want you all to pay very close attention. And I'm telling you, I'm about to make a good point here. Okay? According to the scriptures, not my opinion. And it shall come to pass, Deuteronomy 28, verse 1, down to 14. Just hang tight. I'm not going to just read it straight like I did last time. This time it's going to be a little fun. I promise you. But pay attention. And it shall come to pass that if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of Yahuwah thy Elohim, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that Yahuwah thy Elohim will set thee on high, above all the nations on the earth. Black people, are we above all the nations of the earth? Now, because the scripture says that if we follow, now, mind you, this is Moses talking. Sure, it's Christ's words, but Moses is the mighty man like this, standing in front of all the people. And all of these people are looking at this ordinary man that bleeds blood and breathes air. And he's so eloquent. He's so eloquent. And he's so fluid. His speech, he's a great orator. Some people say, well, there's a verse where it said that Moses wasn't good in speech. No. It doesn't mean Moses was dumb. Moses wasn't dumb at all. He wasn't dumb. He wasn't retarded. He wasn't slow in that sense. Moses wasn't really he actually wasn't a great orator like myself because he was so humble. Scripture says that Moses At that time, Moses was the most humble man on the planet. So normally a lot of people that don't think highly of themselves, now a lot of people will call that low self-esteem. But I assure you, I don't have low self-esteem. I just know my place. And I know who's the boss. And I don't want to make him angry. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry. So, basically, Moses is speaking to all these people. And the way he's talking is if he's saying it himself. He's not conscious of this. This is the way Yah gave it to him. So you got this man standing in front of all these people with a great form of godliness. And he's saying, if you follow the commandments, all of you will be above all the nations on the earth. You'll be above the China man. You'll be above the Arab man. You'll be above the Japanese man. You'll be above the Caucasian man. You'll be above the complete Hamite man. You'll be above everybody. You'll be above the Jewish man, Amalek. Right? And Esau, the spirit of Esau would have no rule. But obviously, if you look at black folk today, are we above every nation? No. We're at the bottom. So my question to you all now is, what happened? Okay. Now, let me just move forward. All right? Chapter 2 says, so it says, and all these blessings shall come on thee, and take and overtake thee. Dang. So the blessings are going to overcome black people. And all the blessings shall come on us and overtake us, meaning our blessings would overwhelm us. If there's the kicker, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of Yahuwah Elohim. Blessed shalt thou be in the city. See, you would be blessed in the city. And blessed, and thou shalt not, and thou shalt be in the field, and blessed shalt thou be in the field. Blessed shall be the fruit of the body, and the fruit of thy ground, and the fruit of thy cattle, the increase of thy kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So you got to remember, back in those days, if you had a lot of cattle, if you had a lot of sheep, if you had a lot of oxen, you were wealthy. So, the kingdom is not at hand yet. This was 5,500 years ago. And the kingdom was not at hand. See, our forefathers during the Exodus were not the children of light. The children of light did not happen. They did not come into effect until the light of the world, Yahushua HaMashiach, came in the flesh. Now, listen very carefully, because I'm going to proceed, and I want y'all to pay attention. And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. But I want y'all to listen. It says, blessed shall be thy basket and thy store. Blessed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and blessed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Yahuwah shall cause thine enemies to rise up against thee, to be smitten before thy face. They shall come out against thee one way, and they will run away from you in many different directions. Our enemies today, not every single Caucasian is our enemy. Not every single Arab is our enemy. Not every single Chinese man is our enemy. But for the most part, the other nations are considered the enemies of the Israelites. So the other nations, according to the scriptures, are our enemies. But to those individuals in other nations who believe in the Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you cling to his people, you will do well. But to the other nations, to the individuals, which are the majority in the other nations, that despise the God of Israel and despise his people, you won't do well. So, when you see these cops do what they do, or the Ku Klux Klan do what they do, or people from other nations get violent against Israelites, black folks, do you think that Christ is doing anything about it? He obviously isn't, because it's still happening, right? Not only is it still happening, but the contractions are getting closer. You're starting to see this stuff happen more and more. The white on black crime is increasing. But the problem with that is while the white on black crime is increasing, the black on black crime is increasing, and a house divided against itself cannot stand. Now, this message is really going to hit home, but I need you to pay attention. So let us keep reading, and I want you all to listen very carefully. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon thee in thy storehouses, and in all that thou settest thy hand to do. And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth thee. So, he says our storehouses would be full. Well, today, now, mind you, we're talking about prosperity here, right? Because a lot of people, they shoot at these prosperity preachers, and they should. But I'm telling you right now what Moses was preaching to our forefathers 5,500 years ago. He's preaching of prosperity. Because he said that your storehouses was today, I guess you could say, your bank accounts. And you have storages in your homes or in your basements. Many of you stash food and so forth, and canned goods or whatever for hard times because you're making preparations, right? So many of you don't even know where your next meal is coming from. Not all of us, but a lot of us. There are people out there that are giving away food and things of that nature. That's something that should happen all the time, not just during particular times. But we're not going to get into that right now. But what I'm saying is, us as a nation, because there's some rich Negroes, right? There's rich Negroes out there, right? Not all of them hard workers. Some of them did it the slick way. Some of them did it by joining hands with Satan. Some of them did it by hard work. But as us as an entirety, as an entire nation, we're broken. I don't think anybody can dispute that. So he's saying that we would have fat bank accounts. This is what Moses is saying. If you follow the commandments, you'll have fat bank accounts, and everything that you put your hands to do, you will succeed, overwhelmingly succeed, if you follow the commandments. But these things will take place where? In the land which Yah gives to our forefathers. Not here in captivity. Because we don't own anything in captivity. See, many of you out there are being mind-effed. I don't want to say the word, but you're being mind-effed by my slanderers. They say all hoots and things and kicks and screams about me, right? And many of you out there say, well, I'm going to make sure I do this and I'm going to make sure I do that because I don't want to be the way he is allegedly. So I want to make sure that I'm making all this money and I'm on top of the game. Well, the scribes and Pharisees and hypocrites and gossipers and slanderers, they also preach prosperity as well. And I'm going to show you the problem with preaching prosperity. And I'm going to show you the problem with aiming, with living your life, with prosperity being your sole and primary objective. Woe to you. Now, let's get back to Moses' prosperity speech, shall we? I want you all to pay close attention. Now, he says, blessed be thy basket in thy store. Blessed shall you be when you come into the Lord Yahuwah shall cause thy enemy. I did that. Yahuwah shall command the blessing upon thy storehouses and in all that thou settest thy hand to do. And he shall bless thee in the land. And he shall bless thee in the land. And he shall bless thee in the land which Yahuwah thy Elohim giveth to thee. Christ did not give you Negroes America. There was a transatlantic slave trade and an Arab slave trade that brought you niggas over here to the Americas. Well, no, that wasn't the actual trade. Brought us to the coast, I believe it was the western coast or southern coast of Africa. And then the good ship Jesus brought us from there to here, to the Americas. And the Arab slave trade was a different issue, was a different situation. I believe that's how we got over there into Asia, into Southern Asia. Before, but I could be wrong. Double check. Okay? So, verse 9. Yahuwah will establish thee and holy. So this is how we know that he's talking about us, Negroes, 12 tribes of Israel. Yahuwah shall establish thee an holy people unto himself, as he hath sworn unto you. If thou shalt keep the commandments of Yahuwah thy God, and walk in his ways. If we shall keep the commandments and walk in his ways. And all the people of the earth shall see, and all the other nations shall see that thou art called by the name of Yahuwah. See, we're not great. So that's the reason why they say, how could they be the people of God? They needed to be proved. Proven this. But more sadly, still to this day, we as a people continue to neglect this ourselves. Okay? And all the people will see that we carry Yah's name, and they would be afraid. And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods. There it is again. And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods. And Yahuwah shall make thee plenteous in goods. And God shall make the black peoples of the earth plenteous in goods. In the fruit of thy body, and in the fruit of thy cattle. There it is again. Cattle meaning owning things. And in the fruit of thy ground. And in the land which the Lord sware unto thy fathers to give thee. There it is again. In the land which Yahuwah sweareth to our fathers to give us. I'll be back.